Hey everybody, welcome in. Zeno, how are you? I see you out there. And we have audio, always a good sign. So, bear market's over, most probably, and it's time to bring back the Should I Buy series. It was a very popular series in the past where I analyzed tokens, but the majority of them never, ever passed the test. In fact, when I analyzed this one 2 years ago, it didn't. But the question is, has that changed today? And I will be doing more of these now in 2023. So let me know what you want to do. But if it is a garbage token, I'm not going to cover it. I'm just going to do things that are actually good and have a chance, and then determine, is it worth entering? And if not, at what price? Because remember, everything has a price. Now, the graph got my attention over 2 years ago because it is the Google of blockchain. And Web3 needs transparency. That rhymes. I didn't even mean that to rhyme. And this is what's key. And I've noticed over the past couple of years, a lot of projects are hiding data, which is bad. But these guys publish it, at least when it's available. So let's jump in. I'll go through this fast. If there's anything you're missing, I try to make the notes as detailed as possible. Hit pause, because we've got a lot of ground to cover. And as usual, this is edutainment, not financial advice. And this is the token valuation process that I put together. It starts off with what it does, ranking, what type of industry does it disrupt, value propositions, technology, number of developers, tokenomics, ecosystem, growth and longevity, risks, and price prediction. All the stuff you like. And a ton of work goes behind the scenes with the team here to do this. So let's jump in. And by the way, if you want more of these, hit subscribe. I'm still, looks like, shadow banned. And by the way, sorry for the market today. I know Bitcoin took a bit of a dump. Let me digress for 1 second, because I see people are concerned about the SEC and everything else. Remember, if a government tries to ban, say, staking on Ethereum, yeah, it'll hurt it a little bit, but it'll drive everything offshore. So it's a stupid move. And sometimes markets overreact to news. Okay, like yesterday, Google had a mess up in the demo. It lost 10% of the market cap. That's just illogical. So be on the right side of overreaction. And let's jump in. So first of all, what it does. The graph, TLDR think of it, is what Google does for the internet. It's an indexing protocol, provides on-chain data to consumers. Many don't have that available, or they hide it. So it's bad. If you see a project where they hide the on-chain data, be very careful. And GRT removes the need for data consumers, i.e. app developers, to build out the infrastructure to get the on-chain data. And you all out there, if you have looked at on-chain data, odds are you are pulling data from the graph indirectly. And data consumers pay to query APIs and on-chain data, and aims to be a one-stop shop for reach searches and data retrieval. Again, it's going to be critical to have this, and it already is. Let's look at the background. We covered this before, but quick reminder, 3 founders, Yaniv Tal, Yanis Pullman, and Brandon Ramirez, all engineering students, all smart guys, and they found it difficult to build developer tools for decentralized platforms. And although it's not fully decentralized yet, their plan is to get there, and they raised about $70 million, and they're based in San Francisco. Now, what problem does it solve? There's the product market fit piece, which is critical. Although there's a ton of information available, it's very difficult to parse it out. And this is what these guys do. They build custom indexing servers, write complex data queries, and they use centralized databases, but they're moving towards other ones and moving towards decentralized databases as they go forward. So how does it play? So the solution, basically, it streamlines the process by putting the indexing layer on a blockchain. It utilizes a marketplace approach to providing data where indexes compete to serve up requested data, which is really cool. It supports indexing on a decentralized storage network native to both Ethereum and IPFS platforms. And requesters are able to rely on decentralized network of nodes to run and process his queries, rather than relying on centralized infrastructure. And with the graph, indexing is both efficient, secure, and completely decentralized. So that's basically what it is. Now, a visual of what it is, I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but it, again, analyzes and gathers blockchain data and puts it into various indices called subgraphs, allowing any application to send a query to its protocol and receive an immediate response. And indexes process and store the on-chain data from subgraphs. They usually have advanced technical knowledge to operate these, by the way. In return, indexes receive query fees from data consumers and indexing rewards from new token issuance. And curators are economically incentivized to analyze and signal which subgraphs are available to index. Now, I think this is an interesting piece too, because nearly 1/3 of the indexers are offline at any given time. Only 2/3 are, so that role is really, really critical. In addition, let's go back to where they ranked back in June 2021 versus today, because not only did I pull in all of their competitors, all the other indexers, which now have the label of AI plays, because everybody's jumping on the AI, artificial intelligence narrative. But look at these guys. It's kind of fascinating to see. The graph now is position 41 or 40, depending on the price right now. And back nearly 2 years ago, it was number 47. So it's been very, very steady, which is good. Ocean Protocol was ranked 127. iExec, which I always thought was really silly. I did dig into that and it didn't go anywhere. And we'll see exactly how it performed. Then Fetch, which has been really hot of late. And Singularity Net, AGIX. Well, look at where they are today. This is stunning. So the graph is now from 47 to position 40. Singularity Net jumped all the way up to 78. Fetch, 111. And Ocean Protocol, 119. iExec fell down the ranks and hasn't performed well year to date. But look at the performance of these names. The graph is up nearly 200%, at least it was a few minutes ago. Year to date, the last week, 60%. And Singularity, 882%. Just in over a month, which is stunning. That is nearly 900%, and then Fetch nearly 400%. So the gainers on these things has been amazing, and that's why we're bringing them back. But the question is, do you chase and just YOLO in or whatever? Wait till the end, you'll find out. So also, when I look at this category, I always try and identify a category that's hot, has a guaranteed future, and then pick the winner. So watch these 4 players. They are all jumping on the artificial intelligence narrative: Fetch AI, the graph, Singularity Net, and Ocean. The question is, who will win? And if anybody's interested in me analyzing all of these 4 together, benchmarked against each other from all of my frameworks, I think that would be interesting to see who wins. I think I know who the winner is, but it's worth a dig anyway. Now let's look at industry disruption. This is the growth across the board for the graph. They are now doing revenue from usage fees of nearly $1 million a quarter, and that's doubled in just 9 months. So the growth is there. And remember, they've grown fast during a bear market, which is extremely impressive. And everything else has kind of gone up too. Let's look at the more elements of industry disruption. Some of the biggest names in DeFi are integrating subgraphs for their data query needs, including Uniswap, Aave, Synthetics, MakerDAO, Balancer, Bancor, Compound, all the guys that you probably use on a daily basis. They all rely on the graph, which is very positive. And that explains the huge explosion in needs as well. Now, value proposition. The graph offers a suite of developer tools, APIs, and GraphQL that allow requesters to easily and efficiently query data and create filters to find the data that they need. I know all about this because I subscribe to a ton of APIs and pull in a ton of data for the type of work that I do. And now nodes can automatically extract the necessary data from dApps rather than the requester waiting on the dApp to build the API, etc., etc. So pretty cool in terms of value proposition. And when they first started, it was a new space. Now it's become a very competitive space. Now let's look at technology and developers. Graph is at the cutting edge of decentralized data indexing protocols, and anyone can operate a node with the graph network with a little bit of technical knowledge. And subgraphs are open APIs that allow for indexing. Node operators called indexers earn GRT tokens. That is critical to the whole ecosystem. And notable subgraph operators are Uniswap, Aave, MakerDAO, even Messari run one too, and I subscribe to Messari too. Let's look at developers. This I thought was uncanny in terms of patterns. I always try and find patterns in data, and look at this. So the graph is ranked number 40 right now, and they are ranked number 39 in terms of developers. They have 91 contributors, 658 commits over the last year. You can see here the trend has been down a little bit, but just beginning to spike up, but way off kind of the summer 2022 highs. And the language is Rust as well, which is a very good language, as many of you know. Some of the top new platforms are all built on Rust. So I thought that was an interesting pattern. Now, some data from Messari. Not only amazing growth in the bear market that I stressed before, but also huge subgraph growth, 151% year over year, 25% quarter over quarter. And remember, initially, to bootstrap the graph, they hosted the service initially themselves, so it was centralized. But now, with all these subgraphs, the protocol is gradually transitioning to a pure decentralized network, what they call the mainnet. And the hosted service is free and consists of a large indexer run by Edge and Node, the initial team behind the graph. So let's see what else we got in the box. Tokenomics now. This is an area where when I first analyzed the graph, digging into the tokenomics, it turned me off and it meant I did not buy in 2021. Let's dig in and see if that has changed, because this is so important. So first of all, the indexers require GRT to stake in order to provide the indexing services. They earn query fees and indexing rewards. The curators deposit GRT into a bonding curve to earn a portion of the query fees. And delegators stake GRT with indexers. That's all you need to know about the whole ecosystem where it drives it. Now, the tokenomics themselves, a little more complicated. The GRT token is used to incentivize all players, and it is a very, very well-structured system to create continuously improving APIs to motivate participants to do better every single day. And all indexers, delegators, curators are paid in GRT tokens depending on the performance of the indexes or subgraphs. And there's a rebate pool that rewards all network participants as they go forward. And this there's probably too much detail to mention, but it is mentioned here. The rebate pool is distributed as rebate rewards using the Cobbs-Douglas production function, which I covered in another video, but it's something you don't need to know about how that sausage is made. Now, the tokenomics, GRT is a native ERC20 token, for good or bad, and Ethereum's in the news today with the SEC. They had 10.579 billion initial supply. There's now 8.8 billion circulating. But when I first did this, nearly 2 years ago, it was just over 10 billion. So that is creeping up, and that's important to monitor as well. Not that drastically, but it is creeping up. The inflation rate today is 7.98%, and that's under my critical 10%, and this is used to pay indexing rewards. And the token burning tied to demand on the network is about 1% of query fees, and deposit taxes are burnt, determined by the government council. But I haven't seen a lot of burning happening. And again, just to mention, there is no max supply. There has been an increase in total supply, and I ain't seen a lot of burning. So that is just something to keep an eye on as we go forward. Now, tokenomics themselves, the team and the backers have 57%, the community 35%, but of that community, 6% was a strategic sale, 58% is with the foundation, and about 6.3% goes to indexers and curators, and 4% to public sales. Note, they only have, at least last I checked, about 20 to 29 employees. So somebody's getting their pockets lined. So that is a heavy insider distribution, which dings them on the crypto compendium. Let's look at the schedule of release. And again, when I first started this, we were facing the huge rise in dumpage, as I call it. But now I added an arrow of where we are on the schedule of circulation releases. And now things are beginning to level off. That's why the inflation is only 7.9%. But from mid-2021 to the end of 2022, it was nasty. And this is what I picked up as well when I analyzed it 2 years ago. Look at 2022. The total unlock percentage of total supply was 40.31%. That is sell pressure from hell. You don't want to be part of that. And somebody moved my little green arrow. That should be pointing at 2023. You can see 7.41% is the supply that's going to be hitting the market. So not too bad now at all. Under that critical 10%, not a lot of sell pressure coming. Now let's look at the crypto compendium score for the graph. It is now 6.6. Last time I analyzed it, it was about 5.4. So it's gotten a lot better in many different perspectives. And again, the current inflation is 7.98%. So it's come a long way. That makes it, for me, attractive. Now, let's talk about the ecosystem. They have over 618 subgraphs. Not all are active at any one time. They have 11,000 delegators, 292 indexers, 2,540 curators, And they are used by the who's list of everybody in DeFi. So again, stunning progress. Really doing a fantastic job, especially during the bear market. Longevity and track record. This was a concern when they first started. They basically launched their mainnet in December 2020. But we are here now, 3 years on, and things are a lot better. They have raised over $69 million from backers, top VCs, Coinbase Ventures, Framework Ventures, Parafy Capital, etc. So they do have good backers. And now the track record is no longer kind of a concern. Here we are onto the risks element. The initial token distribution supply is bad. That 35% designated for the community, which wasn't fully loaded on the community. It's been a little bit of a problem, nags at me a little bit. And very little of the token supply is in the hands of the public and its community. And the amount of tokens unlocked and the aggressive token vesting from May 2021 onwards was reflected in the price, which you'll see in a minute. That's why it's so important to look at this. And remember as well, it's no longer a young project, so the risk is less. Here is the chart. Now you can see from May 2021 onwards, it tanked. It was up above $2 and fell all the way down to the middle of the bear. It kind of bottomed in November with everything else at between 3 and 6 cents. And that's when I noticed it was actually very, very attractive, because we have this model. This is what I call the ATR model. And it's a thing I'm working on. First finished the non-automated version in November 2021. And it stood out, the graph stood out to me as the best risk reward token of all top 100 crypto tokens out there. And the whole idea is balance tokenomics, compendium scores, some TA indicators, trends, etc. And this is at the time when graph was at 6 cents, by the way, not the price today is about 15 cents. But even at this, even if we got halfway back to all-time high, the return on investment would be nearly 1,400%, which is impressive. Impressive indeed. And number 2 on that model was Solana, by the way. But the graph completely crushed it. Now, maybe it was completely overinflated when we go back to the chart here, when it did pop all the way up to nearly $3. But hey, that's it. Now, and the other question I always get is, where can you buy the graph? So it's now widely available. It's on Binance, Binance US, Kraken, Gate.io, Upbit, Bybit, OKX, KuCoin, Coinbase, Uniswap V3. So it's everywhere you want to find it. And some good pairs available too, like GRT to ETH is a good pair on Uniswap as well that I have been looking at too. Okay, so we covered a lot of ground, and now we're going to get to the critical part. I used to do very, very detailed price predictions out over time. We are still too early in this bull market, but one thing I can tell you is I do believe, let me see, whoa, I'm looking at Bitcoin price right now. It really took a big dive, but it's bounced back above 22K. Again, as I mentioned, sometimes there are overreactions that, one of the most important lessons in investing, because I know people are nervous right now, is like, is to stay calm. Do your work up front, analyze things, place your bets, and wait. That is kind of the key lesson for today. So in terms of me and my price prediction for the bull run, I believe, and this is going to sound crazy, but I believe the graph could go over $1 for the next bull run. And remember, that could start 6 months from now, 14 months from now, a year and a half from now, but I do believe it'll go over $1, which is a 7x from here, from the current price, which is kind of crazy to think, but it's risky, but the rewards are there if you want to play. Now, that being said, getting back to the chart, it took a huge run. It's gone up 2-3x in a very short window of time. It's coming back off of that euphoria, as with all the other names, some going up 800, 900%. So not financial advice, but sit tight. Don't kind of FOMO in. If you guys are interested in price levels that I might be considering, let me know. So conclusion from the graph, 2023 edition. Here it is. The graph is one of the most innovative projects out there. They are widely adopted. It's changing how crypto projects handle data indexing. It's also making the whole space, Web3 space, much more transparent, which is so important for people out there like you guys. Its technology also allows users to retrieve data in a very efficient and decentralized way, and its existence has already seen huge adoption from major crypto projects, especially DeFi players, which is one of the areas that I focus on. And it's also grown dramatically during the bear market, which is another big, thumbs up. Anything that is flat or shrinks during the bear market is kind of a little bit of a red flag. The inflation and compendium scores have improved dramatically, and logical to enter somewhere between 6 cents and maybe 15, 14, 12, 10, 8, 9 cents. But layer in if you like it, if you like this information. And let me know below if you want me to analyze all of what I call the AI players in the space, compare them all against each other. But sometimes you can see how they perform over time. And the graph has been so impressive because it's been so stable with a lot of growth as well. So thank you everybody for being here. Thank you to moderators in the chat. Let me know if you like this series, like it being back, and if you want to see more. Okay. Thank you all.